Matty, Christian, thank you for joining me and joining us to find out a little bit more about what you guys both do and maybe a little bit more about the Academy itself as well as part of Youth Development Week. Really sort of interested to just learn a little bit more about your roles really. So Christian, I'm going to start with you first, if that's okay. So maybe you can just tell us a little bit about your role in the Academy and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the Academy Head of Player Care, which encompasses, I suppose, everything within the Academy player's journey. So it starts with induction when trialists or new players come into the Academy, making sure that they've got a smooth transition. We have, I also look after the host families as well, so players within our under-18s that come from further afield. It's about housing them in and around Milton Keynes area. And then whilst they're in with us, just ensuring that they have exposure to a good variety of life skills within our programme, ensuring that well-being is supported throughout their time, giving players and parents an opportunity to provide feedback towards the Academy as well. And then also looking at their exit from the Academy, as naturally it does happen. So ensuring that transition's a smooth process and that the aftercare is there. So it's quite a broad range of things really.
That's cool. There's loads of stuff there I want to catch up on, but we'll just come with you, Matty, first. Matty, tell us about your role. What do you do?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the head of Academy Analysis. So we look after the analysis provision from the under-8s all the way to the under-18s, and now the development squad as well for this year. So we kind of tailorise our provisions depending on the age groups, and we deliver various data analysis projects such as Deadly Dons in the foundation phase, and we tailorise it to the PDP as well. When they get a little bit older, they look for match-specific metrics as well. So we kind of, responsible for all those age groups, providing video and then data metrics in match reports as well. So
a couple of questions there straight away. Did you say Deadly Dons?
Yeah.
What's Deadly Dons?
So Deadly Dons, it's kind of an intervention where from our foundation phase lead Luke Reed, so he came up with it. So it looks at all the attacking elements of our game. So we analyse every shot we take in every age group we have, and that's a big task. There's lots of games going on, so it's difficult to keep up. But we look at what the shot was, where it was taken, where it went in the goal. And we kind of tailorise our training around that. So we look to give individual feedback to the players and set up training drills relating to that as well.
So when you're doing that work on an individual basis for all those players, how many players are we talking about in the Academy? How many are you dealing with?
Yeah, we're talking over 100, and they all have their own individual data reports for Deadly Dons. So we've got in the background we can see all the games they've played in the games programme, and how many shots they had, what kind of shots they had, where they were taken, and all those sorts of things. So and what foot they took it with, so we can really make it real granular data and drill right down, so we can really look at targeting their IDPs going forward.
That's a lot of work. And then Christian, coming back to you, there are so many players in the Academy. I think not everybody always realises quite how many young players we're dealing with. And you mentioned about your work is looking at like a lot of their development across the board. That again seems like a lot of work you have to do. How much of a challenge is that to tailor it specifically?
It certainly is a big challenge, and I think where we're fortunate is that we have a multidisciplinary team that are willing to buy into supporting around the player as a whole. I think for our older players that are within the Academy full-time, we obviously have access to them on a daily basis and can have quite a high level of support and specific workshops and experiences we can put on for them. I think for the younger players, so our 9s to 16s that would be on a part-time model with us, is about being a bit more creative. So we have a competency program that we use that has things like resilience, focus, self-confidence, self-awareness, and we use that to target their personal development. So whilst they may have 3 training sessions with us over the course of the week, can we be creative in giving them challenges and targets to hit around those competencies when they're away from us? So each player within the Academy will have their own personal development scrapbook that they can work on away from the club. And it's a chance for them to highlight the good things that they are doing and really kind of share with all of the staff within the Academy how they're working on their development, not just on the pitch, but also away from the pitch.
Yeah, you mentioned about off the pitch. So does that mean that you have to think quite a lot about how some of that development work fits in with their broader education, their just general work in growing up as human beings? Do you have to think, I assume you have to think quite a lot beyond just football?
Absolutely, yeah. Part of that player care program is a well-rounded life skills program. So within my role, it's not just looking at success as getting to that first team. That is our overall academy goal, and we all do drive into that. But can we equip players with the tools to feel like they have some control over the direction their life goes when they do get older, when they eventually do leave the academy, whether that be going on and playing at a different club or whether it be moving into a different industry. So yeah, once they're in with us, it's can we give them training and opportunities around mental health, mental skills, mental fitness, physical health, so things like recovery sessions, and that's where we'll lean on that sports science team. It could be looking at transitions. So again, there's so many different transitions within football, such as progressing up through the phases in different age groups. It could be transitions from an under-18s to a development group, or development group to a first team area. So it's really about considering the player's journey as a whole, and making sure that we, where possible, can fit in pieces of education and development that will support them to make the next step wherever that may be. And
Matty, you mentioned there before about how your role is starting to involve more work with the development squad, so with Dean and with Fran and that group. So how do you support that team with your work?
Yeah, so obviously their games programme is a little bit different. So we are in the Central League Cup, and we're looking at showcase friendlies as well. So the games aren't regular, but that gives us more time to prepare. So that time is spent with the players going through the IDP, so the individual development plans, and we're putting those clips together for them, and then we can spend time with the coaches and the player in the lecture theatre going through those clips and really nailing down on the specifics and the detail, and then Fran can take that detail onto the training pitch and do those kind of specific drills with those players, and really go after those key little details that is going to hopefully push them into the first team going forward.
So is that kind of what success for that group looks like? Just going on to become a footballer, or going on to become a player for the first team, or is it a more broad, holistic kind of development?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's preparing them for a professional career in football anywhere. Happy days if it's for us. We all love to see that, but we hope to see them on a professional pitch somewhere.
And Christian, you mentioned about dealing with some of the challenges that maybe come off the pitch, dealing with, sometimes the players might have issues they have to deal with. How much of your time do you spend supporting players and their families?
I'd say it's quite a significant period of my week. So with the under-18s, part of their weekly schedule will be check-ins with me, so there'll be one-to-one conversations, and that could be a sit-down meeting to discuss a personal issue. It could be can be at times a walk and talk around the training ground, but that looks at things like personal issues. So do they have things going on in their life away from football that is maybe having an impact on performance? Injuries, of course, a big one. So if there's any player that sustains a serious injury, that first initial period in the lead up to the diagnosis and treatment, will be checking in with the player, seeing where they're at mentally, and giving them the platform to be able to just kind of air out how they're feeling and talk over things. There's also things around football development. So are they playing less than they would like to? Are they having issues with education? So there's all these kind of different things that can have an impact on the player's playing journey, and it's about giving them a space to be able to talk and discuss these things, to feel like they're not carrying the weight of those issues or the weight of the world into their performance aspect of football.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys both do quite well. You obviously both work within the academy, and it's quite a close team, but you work at quite different ends of the spectrum. Do you, Matt, I'll start with you, but do you do much work together in your different areas? How do you guys work together?
Yeah, I mean, like Christian's mentioned, as part of a multidisciplinary team, we have regular meetings as a collective staff, and we discuss those players in that phase. So, for example, for the PDP, we'll focus on those players and we'll kind of give our thoughts on those players raised from analysis point of view. Have they looked through their clips? Have they detailed those clips? Have they been presented, and how they receive those clips? And then Christian will then give his thoughts and dealings with that player. And sometimes those points can correlate, and it builds a good picture of that player and what kind of state of mind they're in. And that's really key for development of knowing your players and how to get them performing at their best.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So you might have a situation where there might be some numbers that are saying that a player is doing a certain thing on a regular basis or is performing in a certain way. Then when you dig into it, there might be an issue we need to resolve, or there might be something that we can step in and provide a little bit of support in that can help them either improve or overcome that. Is that something that happens on a fairly regular basis, do you guys think? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Christian will know how the player will learn best. So from an analysis point of view, do we need them to show visual, or were they better listening to and understanding those clips? And it's all about tailorising the kind of the feedback we give to them, I think is key.
And Christian, do you see that as well, that your role is like looking after them as human beings, but also helping them develop the resilience to become better footballers as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we as people, we can't, or at times it's difficult to separate different aspects of our lives. So if there's things that are happening outside of the pitch, then naturally that's going to have an impact. And like Matty said, sometimes we see that within, whether it be the statistical analysis or whether it be just the coaching observation. And I suppose it's putting those pieces of the puzzle together to get a full, holistic, rounded support of the player. That's
a really good way of looking at it. Like it's all all different parts of the puzzle come together to help the kids basically develop and move on, I guess. Cool. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.